She accidentally sent me a text saying she was faking a pregnancy to trap me into proposing. Then she begged, saying, "It was just a joke. Please forgive me." But I exposed everything. I'm 29, and honestly, I never imagined that one text could completely change how I viewed the woman I was about to marry. Last Tuesday started off like any other day. I was at my desk sorting through quarterly reports when my phone buzzed with a message from her. We'd been together for 2 years, had been living together for 8 months, and I'd even had an engagement ring tucked away in my jacket pocket for 3 weeks, just waiting for the right moment to propose. The message read, "Just pretending to be pregnant to get him to propose." Classic move, right? He's been so sweet, buying me flowers and cooking dinner. Poor guy has no clue I'm not really pregnant. Oh, should I keep it going a bit longer or drop the bomb tonight? My heart sank as I felt the blood drain from my face. I read it again, then a third time, hoping I'd misread it. But no, it was as clear as day. She had sent it to me by mistake. My hands were shaking as I grabbed a screenshot. Even though the logical part of my mind searched for a different explanation, there it was staring me in the face. Just 3 weeks prior, she had told me she was pregnant. I held her while she cried happy tears. I started dreaming about our future. Cribs, college funds, teaching our little one how to throw a baseball. What was I thinking? Without giving it another thought, I sent her the screenshot back with just 4 words. Classic breakup. We're done. Then I turned off my phone. The next few hours were a blur. I couldn't focus on work, so I decided to leave early and head to our place. Our place? Not anymore. I started packing, folding clothes, and wrapping picture frames in newspaper. Each item felt like a piece of a lie I'd been living. When I checked my phone around 6 o'clock, I had 47 missed calls and 32 texts, all from her. I didn't read them or listen to the voicemails. Instead, I called a college buddy who lived across town and asked if I could crash on his couch for a few days. She came home while I was loading the last box into my car. Hearing her key in the lock made my stomach twist, but I kept at it. She burst in, mascara running down her cheeks, still in her work clothes. She immediately started explaining that it was all a joke, that she'd been texting her sister about some ridiculous advice column they'd read together. She insisted she really was pregnant, claiming morning sickness and a missed period to prove it. She begged me to take a pregnancy test with her right then and there. I told her I'd heard enough lies. Even if she was pregnant, which I doubted, the fact that she could joke about manipulating me into marriage told me everything I needed to know about her. I picked up my last box and walked past her to the door. She grabbed my arm, pleading with me to listen. She swore on her mother's grave that she was telling the truth about being pregnant and lying about the joke. It struck me as pretty absurd that she expected me to believe she was lying about lying. I pulled away and left the situation behind. Fast forward 5 days since I moved out, and the calls are still coming in. She's roped in her sister, her best friend, and even her mom to explain that it was all just a misunderstanding. They claim she and her sister joke about pregnancy announcements online, and that she was supposedly mocking women who trick guys with fake pregnancies. This morning, her sister called, insisting that her sister really is pregnant and that the text was just a poorly timed attempt at dark humor. She begged me to talk to her so she could explain everything. For a moment, I nearly bought it, but then I remembered something odd. 3 weeks ago, when she first shared the news about being pregnant, her details were way too specific. She mentioned morning sickness, but I'd never actually seen her throw up. She said she was tired, yet I'd caught her binge-watching shows late into the night. She claimed to be craving pickles, but we had none in our apartment. I started reflecting on other things too. How she'd been dropping hints about marriage for months, showing me ring pictures she liked, chatting about friends getting engaged, and mentioning wanting to be married before turning 30. It felt like she was laying the groundwork, and this pregnancy story was just the final push. I realized I needed proof. So, I drove to the pharmacy, picked up a pregnancy test, then headed back to our apartment. I still had my key, though I probably shouldn't have used it. I left the test on the bathroom counter with a note saying that if she wanted me to believe her, she needed to take it and text me a picture of the results within the hour. 90 minutes later, she sent me a message with a photo of a positive pregnancy test. For about 10 minutes, I felt like the biggest jerk. But then I noticed something off in the photo. The bathroom lighting seemed all wrong, and the tile pattern in the background didn't match ours. I decided to call my ex-roommate from college, who works in digital forensics. I figured he could help me find out where the photo came from. I sent it to him and asked if he could look it up. 20 minutes later, he called me back laughing. He'd done a reverse image search and found the exact same photo on 3 different pregnancy forum sites from over a year ago. She had literally downloaded a stock photo of a positive pregnancy test from the internet. That's when I realized the extent of the manipulation I was dealing with. Update 2. I confronted her with the reverse image search results yesterday. We met at a coffee shop near her work because I didn't want the drama of going back to the apartment. When I showed her the evidence, her face went through a whirlwind of emotions in 10 seconds. Confusion, recognition, panic, anger, and finally, resignation. First, she didn't even try to deny it. She broke down and admitted she wasn't pregnant and never had been. She said she felt pressure because her friends were getting engaged and was afraid I would never propose. She claimed she had planned to miscarry after our engagement, and that no one would have been hurt by it. I asked her how she thought lying about something like this was okay, and she started crying again. She said she knew it was wrong, but that she loved me and was scared of losing me. She insisted everything else about our relationship was real. This was just one mistake out of desperation. What struck me wasn't just her tears or apologies, but how calculated it all felt now that I could see it clearly. She'd researched pregnancy symptoms, probably practiced the conversation about being scared but excited, even downloaded a convincing test photo as backup. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment lie. It was a planned deception. I told her I was done and would collect my remaining stuff from the apartment that weekend. She begged me to reconsider, saying we could go to counseling and work through it. She promised she'd never lie to me again. I explained that the problem wasn't just the lie itself, but what it revealed about how she viewed me and our relationship. She had been willing to manipulate one of the most important decisions in life, whether to have children, to get what she wanted. If she could lie about that, what else would she lie about? Our finances, her loyalty, our future plans? She didn't have an answer for that. Update 3. It's been 2 weeks since everything fell apart, and I'm finally starting to process it. I moved into a little apartment across town, trying to rebuild my routine. Work helps keep my mind off things, and I've been hitting the gym more to deal with the stress. The toughest part has been questioning everything about our relationship. Were her feelings real, or was I just a means to an end? How long had she been planning this? Were there other lies I never noticed? I found out through mutual friends that she's been telling people I overreacted to a harmless joke and abandoned her when she needed me most. In her version, she really was pregnant and lost the baby because of the stress of me leaving. It's a story meant to make me look like the bad guy, and sadly, some people are buying it. Last week, her sister called and said I was heartless for not supporting her through her miscarriage. I almost felt bad until I remembered the reverse image search and her confession. It's crazy how easily some people can rewrite history when it suits them. The ring is still in my sock drawer. I haven't returned it yet because I'm not ready to close that chapter completely. A part of me keeps wondering if I gave up too soon, if I should have fought harder to make things work. But then I remember that text message and how casually she joked about manipulating me, and I know I made the right call. I've been thinking a lot about trust and how quickly it can vanish. 2 years of building a relationship and it all came down to one accidentally sent text. If she hadn't slipped up, I might have proposed by now. I might have married someone capable of pulling off such a detailed deception. The scariest part is questioning what other lies I believed over the years, not just from her but from others in my life. This made me more skeptical of everyone, which I hate. I don't want to be that person who questions every conversation and doubts every gesture, but I can't ignore what I've discovered about how easily trust can be misused. Yesterday, I finally blocked her number and all her social media accounts. I also returned the ring to the jewelry store. The salesperson asked if everything was okay, and I just told him the engagement was off. He was nice enough not to press for details. Walking out of that store felt like a significant step in moving on. I'm not ready to date again just yet, and I don't know when I will be, but that's okay with me. I'd rather be alone and honest than in a relationship built on deception. Sometimes I can't help but wonder if she really loved me, or if she just liked the idea of being engaged. But honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. What really counts is that I've learned something really important about myself. I'm not going to compromise my values or put up with deceit, even if it comes from someone I thought I wanted to spend my life with. The truth always seems to come out in the end. In this case, it revealed itself through a text she probably sent without a second thought. But I'm actually thankful it happened before I made a much bigger mistake. Now, I'm focused on picking up the pieces of my life and working towards being the kind of person who deserves real love and honesty. One day, I'll find someone who doesn't feel the need to lie or manipulate to get what they want. Until then, I'm learning to be okay with my own company and stick to my integrity. This whole experience has shown me that sometimes the greatest gift someone can give you is unintentionally showing you who they truly are.